4th of July. It's in a few days. I just dropped lunch off at the little guy. Today is Daddy bring lunch into school, and I'm just thinking like, wow, you know, a few days, we have 4th of July. We gotta figure out what the hell we're gonna be doing. Not only when you're out there and you're scouting for that perfect spot that you're going to set up camp for the fireworks, is also think about camera position. Try to think about a position or a angle or something with your foreground that is different from what most everybody else is going to be photographing out there. That's going to make your photo stand out and be unique. Oh yeah, that hit the spot. So let's go talk about photographing fireworks. Getting out there and photograph fireworks, you're gonna be happy to know photographing fireworks is not all that difficult. There's a couple things that you really want to pay attention to, and when you spend the focus on these items, the rest of it kind of fall into play after the words, or just becomes a lot easier. One of them is get positioned early. Fireworks are very time critical. You never know how long they are going to go off. It could be just a few minutes or 15. Fireworks leave smoke. I know, big surprise. Have you ever noticed when the fireworks start going off, the sky that was once nice clear becomes all smoky? So with that in mind, fireworks leave smoke in the sky. Unless there's a decent wind, the earliest starbursts are going to be the cleanest. So think about that. That's another reason why you want to get there as early as possible. Get positioned, get framed up ahead of time. So therefore, when the fireworks start going off, you're at least guaranteed a few good shots before the sky gets all mucked up. So be in position before they start. Try to be upwind of the fireworks so the smoke doesn't obstruct your view. Frame up your shot ahead of time. Find some interesting foreground interests. Fireworks look a lot better when they have something that kind of pulls them into the frame. You know what I'm talking about. What items do you need? Now, while I've seen some pretty decent fireworks shots that were surprisingly taken with like an iPhone, I would recommend going out with something that you can at least mount on a tripod. So most cameras will work for this. Now when it comes to lenses, zooms are the easiest for recomposing. So if you're out there and you have a bag full of primes, you're gonna be fumbling back and forth. And again, going back to what we were talking about a moment ago, timing is going to be really, you're gonna have to be on it, man. You're gonna be on it. If you're digging into your bag because you need to pull out another lens, put it on, reframe up the shot, you're gonna be burning through a lot of time. One of my favorite lenses to use is a 24-70 on a full frame or on a 17 to 50 on a crop sensor. No need for those big giant apertures. You won't be using them anyways. Now, another one of those items on there is going to be a tripod. And I know a lot of you are in notes going to say, well, my camera is so great at low light. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, a lot of newer cameras are really, really awesome at low light. But utilizing tripods, it's one of those steps that maximizes, that gets you closer to just maximizing sharpness in a shot. The next item is a cable release. Now, you can use ball mode when the shell goes off, open up the shutter and keep it open. Press the cable release when the mortar is going up. Hold it up until after the firework explodes. Boom, you got it. If you don't have a cable release, use a timer on the camera. They have 2-second or 5-second timer, not the 10-second timer. You can miss great shots with 10-second timer. Spare batteries. I know. It's like, one of the next ones I'm going to bring up here is memory cards. But, I'm going to say it regardless because a lot of new people are going to be watching this. And with a lot of the new cameras, and you're going to be doing long exposures, and these just drain the heck out of your battery. So bring extra batteries. Memory cards, yes, okay. I always like to have at least a couple extra memory cards on me. One of the next items on here is talking about flashlight or headlamps. I had to go and grab some items here so I can show you what I personally use myself. So I have a couple different headlamps that I particularly like to use. This is a small one. Honestly, I forget what the price of this thing was. I'll put it in the show notes or down below. This is really great, and the great thing about these versus using like a flashlight is, you know, you can have a red light, and it also has a very blinding, you know, light that comes out. This one isn't so bad, but you know, it's still pretty bright. And the cool part about it is it keeps your hands free, so you don't have to go mucking around. This thing right here, this thing is absolutely, this would be overkill in a lot of situations. This thing is so bright. I mean, look at the battery alone in this thing. I love this. So when I go off on my little excursions, I use this. So flashlight or headlamp, and don't be that guy that is shining out into the horizon and so forth. Keep in mind there's going to be a lot of other photographers out there that are very well doing long exposures, and if you go shining a bright light out there, it's mucking up their shot. So be mindful of others that are around you. Earplugs. Okay, if you have sensitive ears, definitely you want to have earplugs so you don't get fucked by all the noise. Comfortable chair. You'll be sitting in your spot for a long time before the fireworks even get going, because ideally, hopefully, you're gonna get out there, you're gonna find a really awesome shot or a really awesome position that's right in front of everybody else. So, which means in order for that to happen, you're gonna have to get on location early. So bring a lot of pokey snacks, bring water, snacks, jacket, whatever you need to, but make sure you have what you need right there. For focusing, use autofocus on a distant object to approximate the focus for the fireworks. Once you have that focus rather, switch the lens over to manual to lock in the focus. This prevents the camera from trying to acquire focus as you recompose between shots. Also, as the fireworks are going up, it prevents the camera from trying to lock on these different fireworks that are going up into the sky and so forth. Okay, let's talk about camera settings. Manual mode is a big most. You're gonna have to think on your feet, make adjustments on the fly. Aperture. You're going to want to start right around f8, f16 or so. Now you're going to hear me talking about it a few times during this video, but photographing fireworks, it's a lot of trial and error. Even shutter speed, you're going to start with right around 10 seconds. ISO, I'm going to recommend try to keep low to minimize noise. Besides, fireworks are really bright, so you don't need high ISO. Experiment with aperture, shutter, ISO settings, and get creative, guys. Extend the shutter for dramatic long exposures. With regards to white balance, start with daylight. If lots of light pollution, try tungsten white balance to correct for kind of the orange colored light pollution. Now for composition, this is where it gets a little tricky, but you want to try to include as much of that foreground element. This is what we kind of mentioned earlier. For depth, try horizontal and vertical orientations. Horizontal to show more the entirety of the fireworks in the sky. Vertical to kind of frame into the individual fireworks with trails leading back to the launch point. So you know those shots where you see them like, looks awesome. Frame within a frame. Fireworks framed by landmarks like buildings or bridges. Use focal lengths. Wide angle for incorporating context in this thing. Telephoto for getting really up close and personal with the fireworks. Look around and photograph other stuff. Again, this is what we were talking about earlier, trying to get onto location as early as possible. So therefore, when the fireworks really start going off, you have, if you plan to go to different vantage points or frames that you found, you know ahead of time where they are, and you hopefully will have a plan like, okay, I'm shooting with a 24-70 here. I framed up the shot. I know it's really sweet with a 70 with a vertical orientation. And if you have another spot in mind and you know in your head, okay, right around 50 millimeter horizontal orientation is really where that shot is going to work best. So you're able to go there and maximize your time without compromising or standing chance of losing one of those really awesome shots that you're going to get. Something else to consider, crowds looking up at the fireworks. Little kids' faces illuminated by fireworks make excellent shots. Reflections of fireworks on lake, pond, rivers, yeah, these look really, really cool as well. Create photos that tell a story of the event. Again, experiment, especially if it's a long show. There's time to try out different compositional techniques. There's lots of trial and error. Yes, I said it again, there's lots of trial and error. Go to as many fireworks shows as you can get practice to. I know here in Southern California, Disney, 9 p.m. every night, they have fireworks that go off over there. Geez, if you're in Southern California, you're near, places that on a regular basis, baseball games, I think they have fireworks that go off on a pretty regular basis as well. Just find ways of getting these places. Process the images. Okay, simple fixes like cropping the white balance or up the contrast to make the sky blacker, increase saturation and make the fireworks more vibrant. Advanced techniques like making composition of multiple stacks. So anyway, there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do when getting out there photographing fireworks. So I've shared with you just a few of them right here, but going back to what I said at the beginning of this video is, mastering a couple of these items, and that item is getting out there early and having a game plan already mapped out in your head. That will just pay huge dividends to getting that amazing shot of yours. So now, my friend, go out there and get your best shot. Wait, before you go, if you enjoyed the video or just liked it, hit the like button down below. Also, hit the subscribe button to get more content like that. And of course, why don't you leave a comment down below, share your most memorable firework experience. All right, my friend, I'll see you next time.